Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about how the government tried to censor or block the access to anime. Okay, now what I'm going to refer to is basically, this whole topic of basically how the government is trying to control what you basically can or cannot watch, okay, or try to control basically what can or cannot be sold or whatnot, right? Now, the funny part about this, and I'll just sort of get into it a little bit, is a little bit about the topic is that in Canada here, a lot of the things that I have to refer to as media distribution. In this case, mostly it's video cassettes or VCDs at this sort of conjuncture in time. They're controlled provincially by each particular provincial government. So the particular issue thing I have here is from the British Columbia, the Ministry of the Attorney General, which is again, the local provincial government. Okay, now Canada Customs, of course, is the federal version of the same thing. They also have kind of the same kind of thing, but again, and it's supposed to handle things that come into the country. Okay, now the two things that they have in common is they're horribly understaffed. Okay, so they don't have enough people to review and regulate and enforce. Okay, at the same time, they don't work together. Okay, so what the provincial government may not be anywhere close to or have the same inventory or same information as what the federal government has. Okay, and so both of these two things are quite antiquated and quite out of date, if you will, or really behind the time, always playing a game of catch up. Okay, so how does this sort of thing work? Okay, well, okay, so the concept is basically when you get a let's say a video cassette in this case, because that's usually the thing that usually happens. Okay, of a particular item, okay, or movie or something. If the particular retailer or whatever store wants to sell this, and it may be of a questionable content, let's say above PG-16, for example, then you're supposed to send it into this regulatory branch. They will watch it, and then they will determine whether or not it's okay to sell this particular thing. They will brand it with a particular OK sticker, okay, which happens to be like a black cat with the sort of logo on it, okay, and then you're okay to sell it, right? Now the Canadian government, of course, through basically Canada Customs, they could basically take let's say a video cassette that you could have had sent in from say somewhere else, from like for example when we're doing like tape trading and whatnot, a person in the U.S. sending a video cassette into Canada, they could theoretically have their tape randomly inspected, and then have someone at the Canada Customs watch it and determine whether or not it's okay for you to have such a cassette. And if they don't, then they could seize it, and then you'd never get it. Okay, so let me just sort of read this sort of thing here. Okay, just because it's a interesting little piece of diddly here. Says. So this is from the British Columbia Ministry of the Attorney General. Video retailers and distributors, okay? A number of video titles which would be classified adult under the Motion Picture Act are appearing in general release and adult sections of stores, okay? If these titles have not been submitted for classification or do not bear the BC approved decal, or a restricted cougar sticker authorizing distribution, they may not be sold or rented. You are asked to refer to the definition of the adult motion picture in the Act and remove from your shelves any videotapes which appear to fall under that definition or do not bear the appropriate approval. as a guide, the following list is a list of known titles to be adult of some which have never been approved for distribution. And then basically, here comes a list here of, several pages, as you can see here. Okay. It's about, I'd say less than 20 pages. And, it's not really large amount of, titles on each page. And then they have basically the designations for P for prohibited, A for adult, and R for new restricted classification. Wow, exciting. Okay, so, and of course, on this list, there's a large number of Vietnamese titles. So obviously they've gotten a whole bunch of Vietnamese things. There's a large number of Japanese AV Idol kind of titles. A couple of odd Hong Kong movies in here. I've seen there. I've gone through the list, and there's lots of Italian and French sort of movies in there. But of course, there's a lot. There's a few anime titles here. I'm just kind of going through the list. Just first couple of pages there, and I've come across, the Eugen's Angel, Blackboard Jungle, Countdown 2, Crying Freeman 5, Elven Bride, End of Summer, Evocation Trouble, Goto Man, and La Blue Girl. I'm sure the list goes on and on and on. Anyway, and considering that this list is supposed to be up to date as of July 16th, 1998, okay? So, considering some of the titles that are on this list, and the fact that, it's 1998, and they've only started to list, like, for example, new titles such as La Blue Girl, they're definitely behind, okay? There's obviously a lot more stuff that's out there, and there's also, they're obviously playing a game of, majorly, trying to catch up, trying to, keep up with this stuff, and the list is not exactly, small fine print and all other stuff, okay? And so here comes the, and the funny story is that part of the reason why they have problems keeping up is, again, they just, poorly undermanned, as one of the, government, divisions, right, that are just, trying to do their part, but, they're not doing much, shall we say, but they're trying to show that they're trying to do their part. There was a person, okay, who I'm going to leave unnamed, student at SFU, got a posting in their faculty, okay, and it was posting up a summer position at the Ministry of the Attorney General, and it has this particular job where where when they went to the interview, I said, "Oh yes, you're going to be reviewing films, okay." And so I said, okay, yep, we'll go for that. It pays like $25 an hour, which at the time was really, really good, especially just to sit in a room and watch videos. Like, how easy is that, right? Like, okay, sure, right? And then then you find out that okay, it's part of the adult classification board, okay, or the film board, okay. And it's like, okay, right on. So you basically spend 8 hours a day during the summer here, getting paid $25 an hour to sit there and watch porn. I mean, what a brilliant job. What's the catch, you ask? Well, first of all, one of the requirements is that you actually have to have in the postgraduate part of your education, and in this case at SFU, okay, so you must have already got your degree in sociology, psychology, or something like that, whatever. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing that it is the job's only open to female applicants. Okay, so this particular person I know basically got the job in doing this, and it's like kind of. She tells me that it was kind of, strange and kind of, interesting for the first week or so. And then when it got to week 2, she became very desensitized to all the action that was going on, shall we say, to a point that it was literally fast forwarding like every single movie. And it's like, yeah, okay, good enough, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, good enough, whatever. And basically, it got like that. And that was after like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, okay? And this is like an entire summer's job, okay? To do this kind of like mind-numbingly business, okay? And you can imagine how many of these things that they probably had to go through to, to check and make this kind of a list and, of course, keep it up to date and all this other stuff. And, of course, never doing so, right? So, yeah, so basically, all you modern day, collectors of anime and that kind of stuff, not only do you, get all your, anime and that stuff digitally off of the internet and, get them pretty much instantly, but you don't have to worry about, quality degradation because you're copying from a tape to another tape and you're trying to like a copy of a copy of a copy, and of course, you're losing quality as you make extra copies. So first of all, you don't have to worry about that. But number two, with the internet, the way it is, there is no border. Okay, you can connect to someplace weird like in Russia or something or whatever, and get any of the material that you would like, and download it into your computer or view it or stream it or whatever. And there's no sort of regulation from the FCC or whatever, or any government body about what you download. Okay, so another plus for you people out there that are really into that kind of stuff. Okay, so again, for free speech and for all the anime that you like, have at it. That's one of the things that technology has done for you. Okay, so I just wanted to cover this topic that again. Only the people of of an earlier generation has ever had to deal with or ever had to to have an issue with, and of course nowadays I'm sure that the film board or the Ministry of Attorney General has pretty well much disappeared or become almost a useless identity, because as I said, ever since the downfall of even blockbusters and that kind of stuff back in like 2009, who in the hell even goes to a video store anymore, right? So, another change of technology, right? Okay, so, what you want to do right now is you want to go down below and click like and click subscribe, and we'll get into more stories and more things that have, sort of happened in the past, and, you're only now finding out now. Okay? So, until next time, see you again.